Welcome once again to Dave Blaze, who's in a good mood today because he's
Very good.
uncovered some dastardly stuff in the US. And we're going to discuss that because QFS, diagnose QFS for us.
All right, I will. But first, I have to say that I want you to notice something. I have been utilizing blackstrap molasses every day, a tablespoon every day, and my hair is getting darker.
Oh,
See, you didn't notice that, Rodney, but that's a big deal. It's a big deal for
blackstrap
a lot of
molasses.
guys out there and women. What? Blackstrap
Well,
molasses.
I used to have that, not for the same reason, but it's very nutritious. But there's a
It
lot of
is.
sugar in it, Dave.
I know, but I'm only using a tablespoon and I don't eat a lot of sugar otherwise.
Mm.
So I'm fine.
Well, if it coming to secrets, I have injections that sort of build you up and give you some energy after what we've been through in the last couple of years. That's all right. And we have found, and it's not just me, that it turns your hair to the original color. And there you go. So we're thinking of marketing it actually. Just, I mean, it works, not with everybody. That's the problem.
Right, right. So it would, for it to be marketed that way, it would have to be, be able to be replicated in enough people. But yeah, you're turning back the clock.
Right.
What kind of injections are you talking about? B12?
No, they're specialized injections that come out of Italy. Goodness knows what the name is, but it seems to be.
If it's coming out of Italy, it's got to be like garlic and oregano.
Yes.
What are you getting, garlic shots?
There's worse things than garlic shots with olive oil, of
I
course.
know.
Anyway,
That's right. That's right. They loaded over. He's got with the extra virgin olive oil. That's funny.
you've
No,
got,
but that's wonderful, Rodney. And I'm
it,
sure our audience will want to know more
that's all
about these
right.
objections, but we'll tell them later on.
60-40, we reckon. 60% achieve good results within a couple of months. And
Yeah.
that's the hair. If you want your hair to the original color.
Well, you've gone through numerous
Procedures.
situations and procedures for various things. And these injections, actually, what I believe is that they're in some ways turning back the clock, turning back the chronological clock, uh, um, of you, so that, and henceforth, your hair starts returning to its original color.
We have a guru medic over here in Spain who's actually a surgeon. And he got so fed up of cutting bits off people, he says, there must be another way of doing this. And he concentrated on legitimate alternative medicine,
Right.
supplements, you name it. But they have to be proven. And so far, he's proved himself.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And we're going to talk a little bit about this kind of thing today.
Yeah,
But
you got to be careful. Come on, diagnose for us this wretched thing called QFS, people.
okay, so QFS stands for the Quantum Financial System. And what the perpetrators of this, well, let's just call it what it is, this scam, what they tell people is that there are quantum computers on satellites that are running a parallel financial network to the current global or world financial network, right? It's running parallel. And at a certain point, President Trump, who they're trying to hang this around this guy's neck. At a certain point, he will make the switch from the current financial network to the quantum financial system. And at that time, all the citizens apparently of the United States or citizens of the world or whatever will be reimbursed for all taxation, mortgages, personal debt, whatever. All of that gets wiped out. Everyone's going to get $100,000 a month for a period of time, up to $13 million. The story goes so deep, Rodney, and they have to keep adding on to it because obviously it's not happening. So they keep adding more layers onto it. And they're trying desperately to hang this around Trump's neck, like, look what Trump's doing. Then they incorporate the legitimate cryptocurrency known as XRP, saying that XRP will replace the dollar, the US dollar.
They're going back to gold. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's all part of it. Part of it is they're going back to, going back to a gold standard. Now, I want you to think about this. The United States currently holds the most gold of any nation on earth. The United States holds the most gold, okay? To think that we would ever return to a gold standard for our currency, for our dollar, is so outrageous. It could never work. It will never happen. And people need to learn about modern monetary theory because this is how our money system operates. I don't know what else to say about it, but the QFS thing is never going to happen. The Iraqi dinar is never going to be revalued so that people that bought Iraqi dinars for pennies on the dollar will overnight become millionaires. That's not going to happen. There's multiple scams out there. You can't even imagine that prey on poor people that are working 2-3 jobs and so on to make it. And then they're sending whatever extra money they have to these clowns for special fees and memberships, and you got to buy into the upper tier to really get the best information. It's all bunk.
Well, look, they're talking about debt forgiveness. They're talking about, we'll pay your mortgage off. You can have £1 million a month. This is just crazy. Which crazy is going for this?
Well, they sell it to them based on the biblical Jubilee, where every 50 years or a certain amount of time, there was a Jubilee in Israel, Jubilee year, where all debts were forgiven. Okay, so that's their precedent that they're trying to say that's what's happening. But we're not Old Testament Israel. So that's not happening.
Well, there you go. Look, akin to this and combined with it, of course, is fake med beds as opposed to DARPA ElectRx, which is legitimate. FDA has said so.
Yeah, the DARPA's ElectRx was launched back in 2014, and it was mainly for the military. In other words, if the soldiers are out there and they've got certain injuries or pain or whatever, is there a way to assist the body in healing itself? So DARPA has been working on this for the last 12 years, and it's public trials are being held, and if it works, and which it looks like it is, they put a lot of time and money behind it. Basically what it is they're treating the human body as an electrical circuit. So where there's pain and disease and other maladies that interrupt the circuit, based on the information provided to this implantable chip. Okay, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. This implantable chip, the artificial intelligence within the chip will tell that person's system how to heal that particular area. So if you have hip pain or you have back pain or whatever it is, this will be a method by which your body heals itself.
It sounds like the traditional TENS machine stimulating the nerves.
That's right. That's right. It's a takeoff on that, only 100 times more effective, because it's actually something that will be implanted in your body, connected to that nervous system.
Implanted? Can you walk
Yeah.
around with it?
Yeah, it'll be like a small chip. So of course, this is being worked on. It has been worked on with the military for a long time, for these past 10, 12 years. And now this is happening. This is happening. So that's why, it's interesting, because we see all of this talk about med beds, right? And the med beds, the work that DARPA is doing and the medical community is doing is slow, it's hard, it takes time, and ultimately it's great, but it's hard work. But so grifters cannot make money off of that. So instead, they take the general idea, turn it into something magical, like a medical bed, and that's what they sell memberships for and grift off the public. They're actually telling people that these med beds, you lay in them, they'll heal you of any disease or malady. You can grow a limb. If you don't have a limb, you could grow a limb, and it's all craziness. But the real thing, something like the ElectRx project at DARPA, they don't want to talk about that, but that's real and coming.
Okay, right. Technology. Technology has saved the life of the Donald, apparently, with Iran trying to kill him. And this is all to do with when he was in Turkey and he had to jump ship through a delivery van onto a classic warplane, a big one, and fly back to UK and then get to the States.
Right. So get a load of this. So, all right. So the Secret Service and through the CIA gets a credible threat, right? All right. And, people in the United States are like, oh, can you believe this? So we should retaliate on them. We just blew up all their leadership. We effectively took out the top of their government and have been bombing them. You got to expect stuff like this. All right. So Trump is seen walking up onto Air Force One, and then what they do is they shuttle him off of the other side of the plane into a catering truck. The catering truck, sits there for a while, delivers the food or whatever it is. Now, meanwhile, the media is on board Air Force One. Okay. So on a military jet, and both planes fly to the UK. And when they get to the UK, they bring the president back on Air Force One. And there he is, he comes out, then talking to the press like nothing happened. So they ask him, what happened? They asked him, why did we have to get a load of this? The reporters are asking, why would we have to keep the shades of our windows pulled down? Why did we have to do that? So the president responds with, listen, we're dealing with a bunch of sleazebags out there. They're after me. I'm the number one target. And if they get me, they get you. You not understand that?
Well, there's been a lot of criticism from the media. He left us on the plane. They could have fired a missile at us. Oh. Point taken.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what were they going to do? And the fact that all of this leaked to the Washington Post, and that's how the story breaks, that's another problem. You see what I mean? How in the world could you tell? Can you imagine if we told those reporters, oh yeah, listen, we're shuttling the president off the other side of the plane. He's going to be in that catering van, and he's going to be on that other plane. Can you imagine? These people would be reporting it and blasting it all over the news so that the people that want to shoot him go, oh, hey, look, I just saw this report. He's going to be on the other plane. Let's fire a missile at that.
It's been delayed again, isn't it? Strait of Hormuz once again. There's an opening and suddenly it's closed.
Yeah. So I think the current strategy is starve them. That's the current strategy. Monetarily starve them. Their currency is worth nothing. And every time they try and make a move with money, we block them. And so now you just continue to squeeze them. That's all.
In time for the midterms.
Yeah, because what else are we going to do? We don't want, see, here's what nobody, why don't you blow up their bridges? Why don't you blow up their water supply? Why don't you do that? Yeah, but then after we do that and we get rid of the regime, we're going to have to go in and help the people rebuild. Why would we blow up their infrastructure only to have to rebuild it? That's not smart. And these guys are like, you know what this is like? They're like getting rid of moles in the yard. Have you ever had moles?
Indeed.
Ain't too easy to get rid of them, is it?
No. You better use cyanide gas, but it gets rid of the rest of the family as well. So it's not advisable.
That's right. I got to tell you, these moles, you could try everything. You could try mole this, mole that, mole food, get them going. The only thing that ever worked was, we live next to a wooded area. And to plant food in the wooded area. Yeah. So they move over there. Mm. And then you just, then you got to collapse their tunnels. But outside of that, very difficult to get rid of moles. So this is how the Iranian regime is. This is the IRGC. They're like moles. They've dug underground. Like look what the Palestinians did. When the Israelis left Gaza in 2005, they left Gaza fully operational, water pipes, water supplies, hospitals, everything, and pulled back. That's it. We're out. Those lunatics, Hamas, took all of those pipes for water and used them to build missiles to fire into Israel. Then they dug way underground so they couldn't be detected. These people, I'm telling you, they have a far different mentality. Instead of attracting investments, right, and to make money, no. It's all about crazy tribalism and vengeance.
Okay, one last question. We must go. Question waiting for you, though. How do you stop the bleeding heart people? The liberals, if you like, the far left that say, oh, these poor people, they've got to be allowed to come into Europe and then to the US because they're suffering so much.
Okay. So it is a fact that the people of these nations are suffering. It is a fact that they don't have the willpower any longer or the means to change their governments. Right? So all of that is a fact. They are starving, they are hurting, and so on. The problem that the West has is that they are not enforcing assimilation. That I see personally as the big problem. We would love more immigrants. Bring the immigrants in, but they have to assimilate. Just like the Irish, just like the Italians, just like any other group that we brought, they have to assimilate to the culture. If they don't assimilate, they got to go.
Well, they don't assimilate. UK is a prime example of this.
Yeah, but they don't because it's not enforced. That's where see that's the thing. Don't put up signs in other languages. If Britain is the main language is English, the signs are in English. Force people to learn the language of the country. That's all.
They still want a caliphate, Dave. They still want to take the country
Well,
over.
they could want, but Rodney, they could want a lot of things. It doesn't mean they're going to get them. I would have loved to have been dating a young Angie Dickinson, but I'm not.
Well, that's a thought. And on that thought, we must go.
Let me say one more thing. One more thing, and you'll like this. Let's talk about women's sports, particularly women's basketball. Have you been keeping up with this women's basketball thing?
There's a certain young man about 9 foot tall that wants to go into changing rooms. Yes.
Yeah, the transgenders and all of that. But here's my question. For decades, there have been all sorts of reports about these women being sexually abused and so forth by coaches, by trainers, and by other people and so on. Nobody gave a rat's behind about what was happening to them, right? Didn't care about women's sports. Women's sports, come on, what is that? Right? So the women get abused. There's reports of abuse, and nothing's ever done about it. Nothing. Until, we got a transgender wants to play in women's basketball. Oh, we can use this. Let's all be concerned with women's sports now. It's beyond hypocritical.
Okay,
so that's my last 2 cents.
Well, that's okay. Yeah, I mean, we've covered this quite extensively in UK. There is a lot of abuse at the sporting level. How many years do you go back? Well, permanently. There should be no cut-off period, no amnesty period. It's got to be eked out because we turn out to be a specialist in the United Kingdom with sports abuse, all sorts of sports. We have to leave it there. Come on.
All right. Well, Rodney, it was great seeing you again. I look forward to next time. You're the best at what you do, and we really appreciate you. We appreciate you here at George immensely.
Thank you so much. See you shortly.